We're trying to kind of get an idea of what it is a manager does for a band. It's sort of something that a lot of people maybe have a cursory knowledge of, and you can maybe say, oh, they book my shows or they'll run my Facebook page, but we kind of wanted to dig in and really figure out what it is they're doing.
My job is, the band has this talent and this art, and, it gets distilled into a record or a live show, whatever it is, but it's really about conveying what they want to convey as an artist and what they want to do with their careers. And so I really try to take that in and then filter it into the logical steps.
Right.
Where it's this is how we build this is how we execute it. There's a side of management that is a little bit secretarial. It's answering the phone, it's answering the emails, it's kind of tidying the business. But I think the really great managers are able to do that and also dig in on the creative a bit more.
Right.
And really help to convey their artist voice because they know it better than anyone. A lot of being a manager, you have to sort of intuitively speak for your artists a lot.
Right.
What I have found to be really effective with my artists is just having the communication be really open.
Right.
When we have a big decision to make, I try to bring it up as early as possible, away from a deadline.
When you're working with an artist, you kind of have the expectation that they're going to have some clear ideas of their own goals. Is that something that's important to you as a manager?
Yeah, well, every artist is really different, and I have really unique relationships with each of my artists. And the ones that I feel can be maybe more streamlined or productive are the ones where the band is bringing an idea, and it's my role is how to execute it in the most cogent, clear fashion.
Sylvanessa is pretty active right now. Is it something where you're actively kind of working side by side with them every day, or is it you're kind of an overseeing parent kind of figure where you're actually you've got the game plan and everyone else is kind of filling in the pieces?
Working as a manager, you're very much entrenched with your band, and you're really in it together. The goal is to help us kind of reach these things together. Sure. And get involved.
And with a band like Sylvanessa, how did you come to manage them? Was it the sort of thing where you just kind of knew about them on the local scene and you pursued them, or they were friends, or how did that come about?
Yeah, everybody that I manage, I've had a very long personal relationship that usually precedes our professional relationship. For me, in looking at an artist that I want to work with, so much of it is the sweat, blood, and tears. And to do that with someone, you kind of have to pick someone that you want to fight that fight with.
Right.
So yeah, I've always been lucky to work with people I really care about as individuals and as artists and professionally.
So after you kind of decided that Sylvanessa was going to be a project you focus on, how did you approach, the branding of the band, and did you have to change a lot? Is there things that maybe you wish you had done differently at this point, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, the great thing about Sylvanessa is Nick and Amelia are artists who really get both the creative side and the business side. So I think that when we started working, we had many meetings on this porch, a lot of them, where we sat down and really talked about what we wanted to accomplish. And I think that the goal is where it starts, and then you kind of work backwards. The great thing about that band is that they're excellent live. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of the first step, was to get them out on the road and get them in front of people. Apart from that, we'd all worked with bands where your, assets, like your photos and your videos, they don't ever feel connected.
Right.
And that was a big thing that we really wanted to do with that project in particular, was to make everything feel like it had one voice. We sat down and we wrote a marketing plan that when we were talking with labels, we would sit down in the meeting and hand to them. That was one thing that I think was effective for us early on, is that they saw, we know what we want to do. We want to know how we do it. And that can sometimes sidestep a lot of the things that come up that maybe don't feel very organic or comfortable.
Right.
So we really try to do the work on the front end